So greetings from Pennsylvania once again on a bit of a chilly December 2nd day here, Friday afternoon. It's actually not too bad, at least the sun is out. We're out here doing another family history video. This day we're going to search my EBERLY family history. My mom's mom, my grandmother, her maiden name was EBERLY. So we're going to be searching for them. The first cemetery we're at here is between Bethel and Raresburg here in northern Berks County, not too far from where I grew up. This is the Little Swatara Church of the Brethren, and this is where my grandmother is buried. Years ago when I was in college, I did a little bit of research on the Eberlys. I visited the oldest EBERLY cemetery down in Lancaster County, a little town called Durloch, but I never did all the in-between Eberlys. Their history dates back to about 1725 is when they arrived here in America. The first Eberlys. But anyway, I know I visited that cemetery. I took my mom there once. I have a picture of that somewhere. I might share that with you a little bit later. But anyway, I gotta find my grandmother. We'll talk more about her once I find her. Yeah, but this cemetery has no standing tombstones, so it's gonna make finding her a little bit harder. But she's here somewhere. All right, well that didn't take too long. I knew she was overlooking the fields here. So yeah, here she is. Susanna, because like I said, her maiden name was EBERLY. Her married name is Beaker, and I might pronounce it differently, but it's pronounced Beaker. But yeah, there she is. Born October 2nd of 1927, died November 30th, 1995. Just several days ago would be the anniversary of her death. Yeah, but this is my freshman year in college. First semester of my freshman year, she passed away. I remember that. So I have a lot of good memories of my grandmother. She lived on the farm that I grew up on. She lived there too with her husband. Her husband, we saw his name there. He wasn't the greatest man in the world. He actually should have spent most of his life in jail for various things that he did to others and his family. I'll just let it go at that. But she was a great person. A lot of good memories of her. I know I had chickens when I was little. I had chickens most of my life, but whenever we had too many eggs, I would take them over to Grandma's house. I'd knock on her door, and she'd see me with eggs. She'd take them, and every now and then she'd give me a couple $dollars for them, probably more than what they were worth. I doubt my grandfather liked that, but I thought it was cool. But I have a lot of happy memories of her. It was a great place for her to be buried here, just overlooking the farmland out here. All right, but we're gonna move on. I'm gonna look to see if I have a picture. I think I have an older picture of her. I don't think I'm in that picture. It dates back to some of my older siblings and cousins, but I think I'll share that picture with you here if I can find it. All right, so here's the one picture of my grandmother. You can see her there. She's in the middle there, obviously. But this was taken in about probably 1974. Those are my two older sisters on the right, and some of my cousins on the left. And that's Grandma in the middle there. So it's about 20 years before she passed away, right there. I did find a few other, my mom found a few other pictures. I'll share those with you here. Man, there's a little bit of glare there, but it's Grandma. You can see her there. Second from the left. I think this is my one aunt's wedding. There's another picture of her in here. If I can find it. Hold on a second. All right, here it is. So that's my grandmother, and my mom's in the back there. That's long ago, and there's my two aunts on either side of her. So I'm not sure what year this was, but that was... Man, this might be going back to the 60s, or at least the early 70s. But there's Grandma in the middle. Alright. Yeah, but she only lived to be in her 60s, about 66 or 67. And she got cancer, I remember that. I think, was it the spring before? I think I was a senior in high school when she was first diagnosed with it. I remember that. It was down in her foot first. I think it had spread throughout. There's really wasn't a whole lot they could do. They could treat it, but they couldn't save her though. And I remember she just got worse and worse. But I was in college when things got really bad for her though, I remember. But anyway, like I said, a lot of good memories of her. But anyway, let's move on to her parents. I think Joseph and Anna are their names. So now we're gonna be heading down into Lancaster County. All right, so away we go, and it's Joseph and Alice. I think I said Anna back there earlier, but it's Joseph and Alice. And her maiden name was Good. So it's Joseph EBERLY and Alice Good. And we're heading to Bowmansville, which I believe is still in Lancaster County, right near the border of northeastern Lancaster County and Berks County. Kind of near Welsh Mountain, if you're familiar with that area. So that's where we're headed next. Alright, not too much further till we reach Bowmansville. Just a couple miles away yet. We are down Lancaster County now. Currently looking for Route 625. Alright, so welcome to Bowmansville. I just gotta find where the church we're headed to is. Bowmansville Mennonite Church on Oakland Street, I believe. I think it's on the other end of town. Alright, we have arrived at the Bowmansville Mennonite Church. This is the Old Order Mennonite Church. There are two Bowmansville Mennonite churches here in Bowmansville. And I'll show you why this one is called the Old Order Mennonite Church. So up there's the church itself. The Mennonite churches are very much more plain looking than a lot of the other ones you see. But you see all these places, or like back there's a little shed, that's where they put their horses, or they tie them up out here on these rails. Yes, a lot of people that come to this church still use horse and buggies. They're Old Order Mennonites. They're not Amish, they're very similar to the Amish, but a lot more strict, shall we say, than most of your regular Mennonites. But you do have a cemetery back here. Alright, so we are looking for Joseph and Alice, my great-grandparents. Oh yeah, I see them right away. Okay, that worked out. They're right up front here. Just duck under here. Yeah. Here's Alice, wife of Joseph, born 1898, died in 1979, not all that long ago. Aged 81 years old. And here's her father, her husband, Joseph EBERLY, born 1897, died in 1981, 84 years old. There you go. That was a lot easier than I was expecting, but there they are, side by side. Like I said, her maiden name was Good, so I'm kind of wondering, there's a Good right over here. Probably a lot of her relatives are buried in here. Here's another Good. I haven't checked her ancestry. We got Sawmill down there. I haven't checked her ancestry yet, but these very well could be her parents. We'll have to look into that someday. So these could be, ancestors of mine too, over here. There they are. So that definitely went easier than I was expecting. Right here they were in the very front row as you come walking towards the cemetery. I feel like some of the others that we go looking for are not going to be quite as easy. I think the next cemetery we headed to is a bigger one. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's get back to the Jeep. I'll take a few pictures of my great-grandparents here, and then we'll move along. So I don't really remember much being said about them, except a little bit my mom talking, my grandmother. Joseph, I don't believe was the greatest man in the world, from what I remember being said, but I think he did, at the end of his life, like my mom said, he did apologize to people. He realized he hadn't been the greatest person in the world, and he did apologize to many. I feel like I remember hearing some good things about Alice, though. Like I said, I never really knew them, never really met them in life, so. All right, let's figure out where we're headed next. All right, so now we're headed to another Mennonite cemetery. I think most of the cemeteries we're headed to now belong to Mennonite churches, but we're headed to the Weaverland Mennonite Church, which I believe is not too far from here. That's where we're going to find Menno, that's his name, we'll put it down here, Menno EBERLY and his wife Anna. All right, so let's head on out of here. Yeah, the Weaverland Church and Cemetery is only 8 minutes from here by road, so it's not far at all. So we're going to head back down to Route 625 and try to find Weaverland Road. Alright, so we are on Weaverland Road now. Just up this way should be the cemetery. We're kind of in the heart of Amish and Mennonite country here in Lancaster. Yeah, if you haven't noticed already, my EBERLY ancestors were all Mennonite. My mom was until she was about 6 years old. That's when my grandfather left the Mennonite church. So who knows, if he had never left, maybe I'd be Mennonite today, but anyway. I think I see the church up ahead, ways up there. Alright, we're almost there. Find Menno and Anna. Okay, so once again, another very plain looking church. You can see all the stalls back there for the horses, places to tie your horses up. So once again, a lot of the people that come here don't drive cars here, they drive horses, or the horse and buggy, we call it, horse and carriage. They still do that here in Pennsylvania. But yeah, check out the size of this cemetery. Starts over there, and look at this. Oh my. But we can narrow it down to some extent. They're probably more in this area over here. They were both born in 1873. He died in 1922, so a shorter life. Maybe, do the numbers, maybe not quite even 50 yet. I'm trying to do the math in my mind quick. But she died in 1960. But we'll see what we can find. Oh boy. A chilly day to be out here looking, too. Alright, let's get to it. This is the one I was worried about, I think. I think the next one we're headed to is a bigger one as well. We'll just have to keep our eyes open for anything that says EBERLY. These are the upright tombstones. There are some more goods here, so these could be relatives of mine too. But all right, I'm hoping they're in this section here. We're just looking for anything that says EBERLY. I've seen some foxes back there too. I think on my grandfather's side, there's some foxes. So I might be back here someday looking for these too. A whole bunch of foxes. All right, so we're looking for EBERLYs today. I'm actually seeing a lot of last names that I remember from my ancestry. There's some Brubakers, Zimmermans, Sensenigs. They're all related to all of them. I mean, maybe not these in particular, but I think they're all on the EBERLY side too, which would make sense. All right, EBERLY, where are you? All right, I have spotted an EBERLY up there. I don't know if it's them. It looks newer. Of course, they died quite a few years apart. He died in 1922. She not till 1960. Is that them? I see an Anna. No, it's not Anna. It's not them. Yeah, wrong EBERLYs. All right, false alarm. Okay. All right, I almost thought I found them. There's some EBERLYs right there, but here's one. Here's a Menno EBERLY, but it's the wrong one. Ours was born in 1873, and his wife wasn't Lizzie, it was Anna. So our Martin's out here. We're just gotta find our own, the ones that belong. I mean, I could be I'm probably related to these two in some way or other, but not the ones I'm looking for. I'm looking for my great grandparents. And I know some people are going to say, why didn't you just look up the church records? I assume they do have church records, even at churches like this, but there's something fun about it's like a puzzle just coming out here and looking, although it's a bit daunting with this many tombstones. It is something that's kind of, I don't know, it's a challenge. I'm going to accept that challenge. Hopefully we'll find them. So I think the next cemetery we're going to is almost just as big as this one, but 3 generations of my ancestors are buried at that one. I think it's the Martindale Mennonite Cemetery. I think that's where we're headed next. All right, we found them. Here's Menno. There's his wife Anna. They are a little bit different. I mean, they're the same shape, but his is much older than hers. You can tell just from the writing. There he is, Menno EBERLY. Can't really see the dates on here, but he born 1873, died in 1922. And here's his wife, Anna. I think her maiden name was Gieman, I'll have to double check that. But yeah, born 1873, died in 1960, 86 years old. Yes, I was just doing the math in my head again. I believe Menno was only about 49 years old when he died, so died a younger man. So, not sure what happened. A lot of these people were farmers, so I kind of wonder if it was a farming accident or something like that. All right, here we found a Menno and Anna. Or this is Annie. Some of my information said Anna, but... Alright, but there we go. So we'll say farewell to Menno and Anna, or Annie. Looks like some of their children are here too, so these are some of my ancestors. Yeah, here's a daughter of Menno and Annie, 68 years old. Here's a Mary Eberly, another daughter of theirs, and another daughter, Lizzie. All lived fairly old, 89, and well, she lived to be 68, so. I guess, wonder if they were never married. No husbands here for them. Alright, whoops, almost tripped. There we go. The family right there. Alright, so we are now headed to the Martindale Old Mennonite Cemetery. I should mention that Anna, or Annie as she's mentioned there, her maiden name was Martin, not Geeman. So that'll explain why all the Martins are there too. So most of those Martins are probably my ancestors. There is an Anna Geeman that'll be at our next stop. So like I said, there are 3 generations of Eberlys where we're headed to next. This place is just 7 minutes away. I think we need to turn here, Quarry Road. Yep. I think this is going to be another big cemetery. Alright, so once again we have the horse stables, I guess you'd call them. Here's the church, very similar to all the other ones. Places for the horses and everything. See an old pump up here, the water trough. The cemetery should be out back here somewhere. Alright, yeah, here's there's the old water pump and trough. Let me tell you who we're looking for. I got my paper here. So there are 3 generations here. So we're looking for so we just found Menno and Anna. We're looking for a Joseph Eberly and his wife Elizabeth. Her maiden name was Zimmerman. So another Joseph. And another, well, yep, hold on a second here. Bit breezy out here. So Joseph and Elizabeth. And we're looking for a Henry and another Anna. Her maiden name was Geeman. That's where the Anna Geeman was coming from. So another Anna. So Henry and Anna, and then an Abraham and a Susanna. So quite a few. 3 generations of Eberlys are buried out here. Alright, so here it is. Nowhere near as big as the other ones. So that's good. Let's see, a lot of the newer ones are up here. So looks like the older ones are down further down. Alright, looks like they're mixed up a little bit though. But we'll keep our eyes open. We're going to head down to the end here first. Or maybe, well, I guess we can start looking now. Of course, some of the words are faced this way and then these are blank because the words are on the other side. I wish they all face the same way. Anyway. Not sure why they do that. There should be plenty of Eberlys in here, so we'll keep our eyes open. Not sure if we'll find them in chronological order or not, but alright. So there are definitely some Eberlys here, but not the ones I'm looking for. There's a Henry there, but he's not the one. His wife is Caroline. Those are the wrong dates. There's an Elsie and a Carrie Eberly back there. That's not who we're looking for either, so there's definitely Eberlys here. We'll just keep looking up this way first. Oh, here's a Malon Eberly, a Martin Eberly. We're probably all related to them. Looks like they're building something up there. All right. Alright, so there's a whole lot of Eberlys here. I did find Henry and his wife Anna. They're right here. Of course, here he's called Heinrich, 1827 to 1898. And here's his wife Anna. Her maiden name was Gieman, 1823 to 1897. Looks like here's one of their daughters, Annie. But I still need Joseph and Elizabeth are before these, a generation before, and there's a generation after them, Abraham. So if they're in the middle here, so Abraham and his wife should be down that way maybe, and Joseph and Elizabeth up this way. There's a whole bunch of Eberlys over here too, but these are newer ones. All right, we'll keep looking. All right, so right there was Henry and Anna, and then right next to them are their parents. So here's Abraham Eberly. He died in 1856. Doesn't have a birth date for him, and I believe this is his wife over here, Susanna Eberly. Died in 1865. Do I have a maiden name for her? Yeah, Wenger. Susanna Wenger. There's quite a few Wengers in this cemetery too. So Susanna and Abraham, right next to their children over here. All right, cool. All right, so we still need to find Joseph and Elizabeth. So they should be up that way more, because they should be right in this area, hopefully. So we're gonna head back up this way against where they should be, because they're the newest ones in here. Abraham and Susanna were the oldest generation in here, and then Henry and Susanna were the middle generation that's in here. So we should find Joseph and Elizabeth up here somewhere. All right, cool. I was a little worried about the older ones, because you know how it gets with the older ones. They get hard to read. Sometimes they're unmarked, but found them. All right, let's find our last two here before we move on to the next cemetery. There is a Joseph and a Susanna here, but we're looking for a Joseph and Elizabeth, but the dates don't quite match up with what I have. But I don't know. It's the closest thing I've found. You know, all those other Eberlys we're finding are down this way. There's a whole cluster of them. You know, Henry and Abraham, they were down that way, and then there's another. There was another cluster of Eberlys. Yeah, up there was another cluster of Eberlys, but I'm not seeing any Joseph and Elizabeth. I'm not gonna be here a whole lot longer. We got some more places to go yet, but we'll see. All right, but we're gonna move on. Might have to do a little bit more research on them. I'm kind of wondering if those two I found were them. Sometimes the information isn't always correct. We'll have to double check some information about them. Maybe we'll come back here another day, do some more searching. But I have other places I want to get to today, so that's kind of why I want to keep going. Like I said, we can always come back here some other time and look. Like I said, I'll be back here probably anyway as I research other ancestors in that line. For now, we're going to keep on going. So up the road is Indiantown Cemetery. It's a Mennonite church up that way, where Henry and Martha should be buried. So we'll see if we can find them. We're starting to get old, much older now. They were born in the 1700s. I think Henry was born around the 1750s. So we're getting older, but let's hit the road again. All right, so on our way to Indiantown Cemetery here in Lancaster County. Hopefully we'll find Henry and Martha. Because now the tombstones are getting older, so they get harder to read and stuff like that. Like I said, I'll have to do some research on Joseph and Elizabeth. Perhaps we made a mistake with some of our numbers and names and things. We'll see. Alright, so I believe I'm at the correct spot, Indiantown Cemetery. So we'll see. Just a small little cemetery, lots of newer tombstones, but we'll see. So this will be Henry and Martha. The only dates I have on my sheets that Henry was born in 1750. So we'll see what is here. Like I said, I'm seeing a lot of new ones and a few older ones. Yes, this is what it looks like. You can see some of the older ones down there, but then these are all newer ones. Oh, there's an Eberly right there. But the much newer one. But probably someone I'm related to. That's a good sign, though. More Eberlys down there. Walter and Salome. Alright, but if they are here, they should be in this older section right here. Yeah, these are some older ones. Alright, let's see what we can find here. Don't have a huge area to search. So here's a Jacob Eberly. Born in 1808. That's not old enough for us, though. I think his wife Mary. There's an Abraham and a Nancy Eberly up here. Huh. What's this? Here's an Eberly too, but these are not, it's a Michael Eberly. These are not old enough though, so I wonder if I'm kind of debating if I'm in the right cemetery actually. It's getting cold out here and the sun is soon going down, but alright. We'll go around just a little bit more. So I'm not seeing Henry and Martha in here. There are quite a few Eberlys from the 1800s and newer, but not the ones I need. I'm pretty sure I'm at the right church. I remember seeing this on the satellite images, but maybe I'm not. Let's double check the name on the church there. But anyway, who knows? Maybe once again, I'll have to double check the research again. Sometimes things aren't always right online, or we make mistakes. But we'll see. It's part of the adventure, part of the journey. But anyway, let me show you the page I had. There's other names on. After Henry, we go to look for Peter, and after Peter, it's the first generation that came over here. Michael and his wife Veronica, and their son was Peter and Catherine, and then Henry and Martha here. But they came over, Veronica and Michael came over in about 1725 to this area. Some stories say that Michael never made it, like he'd never made it on the boat or something like that. But they are buried up here just a few minutes away in Durloch. It's the original family homestead, I guess you could say, graveyard. It's pretty cool. I've been there before, like I said. They got like a little monument and plaque to the Eberly family. But their son Peter, some sites say that he's buried there. Some say that he's buried up near a place called Fritztown, which is a couple miles away. I'm actually going to go up to Durloch first and then to Fritztown, but I might insert the Fritztown part before in the video, just time-wise. But we'll see. Alright, just double checking the name on the church. It does say Indiantown Mennonite Church, so I believe I'm at the right spot. But I don't know, unless there's something I'm missing around here. It almost feels like there should be an older cemetery, but I don't know. Like I said, I'll have to double check that. Alright, but like I said, I'm going to head up to Durloch next, actually, but video-wise, you might see the footage from up near Fritztown, what's called Pleasant View Cemetery, next. Alright, but before I show you any of that, here's the list that I'm following. Right up there was my grandmother, Susanna. We visited Joseph and Alice, Menno and Anna, then Joseph and Elizabeth. Whoops. Those are the ones we couldn't find at the Martindale. Found Henry and Anna, and then Abraham and Susanna. And here we were looking for Henry and Martha, but couldn't find them. Of course, there's Peter, Catherine, and then Michael Eberly Jr. and Veronica. So Veronica is buried at the Durloch Cemetery. Not sure where Michael is. And then, of course, there's Peter and Catherine. It's either or. Either over there near Fritztown or at the Durloch Cemetery. So that's what I'm following. Alright, so here is Pleasant View Cemetery. Of course, Peter is not buried in here. But according to my notes, the old homestead was... This is looking north from Pleasant View Cemetery. We're just south of... Up that way is Wernersville. We're back here in Berks County. And up that way is Sinking Spring, but his homestead was just down in there, probably on the other side of some of those buildings out there. I don't think there's anything left. My notes from 20 years ago said that there used to be like a little private cemetery there, or like a homestead cemetery that's now in ruins. And I wonder if that's what they call Cushion Peak over there. My notes mention that too, that his homestead was near a little peak like that, like a little hill. So anyway, there's probably nothing left of where he's buried. Like I said, some people say he's buried down there somewhere or back at the Durloch Cemetery where we're headed next. But I did want to be thorough and just kind of come check this area out. Years ago, I used to do landscaping in the summers. I worked for somebody, and there's like a mulch company right down there. So I kind of remember this area. But anyway, we're gonna go, video-wise, we're gonna go back and start heading towards Durloch. Although I already filmed there. This is the last spot. Time-wise, I'm filming that today, but video-wise, let's head to the cool Durloch Cemetery, where some of the oldest EBERLYs here in Pennsylvania are buried. All right. And this is Durloch. We're gonna turn here on Clearview Road. And just up the ways here is the cemetery, if I remember correctly. Should be just off to our right. Yeah, I see the marker for it. So let's find a place to pull over. Yeah, right over there it is. The old Durloch Cemetery. Well, EBERLY Cemetery. Alright, here we go. Here's the little plaque they put up in memory of the pioneer EBERLY family in America. The mother, Emily, that'd be Veronica, and her 6 children, Jacob, Michael, there's Peter, that's the one I'm descended from, Ulrich, and 2 daughters, which don't give the name, who came from Switzerland, settled in this vicinity. It says 1730. Well, they came over in about 1725. Didn't make it to this area until about 1730. Erected by EBERLY Family Association, 1920. All right, that's cool. So let's take a look. So Mother EBERLY is in here, Veronica. Like I said, we're not sure about Peter. He could be at the location I just inserted previous this, over by the cemetery, along Fritztown Road. But yeah, this is an oldie. There are a few newer ones in here too, but some people say that Peter is buried here as well. Yeah, I was here back in like 2001 or something like that. I remember bringing my mom here. Oh, wow, I feel like it's seen better days. Some older dates on here. Yeah, Mother EBERLY, or Veronica, she was born in 1685. Died about in 1765, I believe. I think hers is up here. They replaced hers. Yeah, it's right up. Is that it right there? Yeah, it says in memory of Mother EBERLY, pioneer settler. But you look at a lot of these. A lot of these are just like field stones. Don't even have names on them and stuff. Just like the ones up there. Kind of wonder who's buried in those. Yeah, lots of EBERLYs. It's all in German too. That's interesting. I think I'll show that to you later. Like I said, I'm not sure if her husband Michael even made it over. Some accounts say that he never made it on the boat that came over from Europe. I don't know. All kinds of EBERLYs here though. Oh, cows. There's a dairy farm right next to us. I don't know if the cows want me here. Jacob EBERLY. Samuel. Very old tombstones. Look, these are probably children. All these smaller ones here. Most likely. There are some newer ones too. Alright. Let's check up this one up here. You know, if Peter was buried here, it might be one of these ones that's difficult to tell what it is. But I remember this being interesting right up here. I think maybe this is not what I thought it was, but it says the bite graves covering 28 feet from here contain the remains of Henry Gibson, a German, died in 1894, aged about 35 years. The following were an African family. Mrs. Joseph Washington died about 1885, probably 100 years old. Joseph Washington died about 1800. And children who died erected by the EBERLYs. So I think this is what I remember seeing. So there was an African family buried in here too, somewhere in this area. So I'm not sure if that's referring to some of these that just have no, like these are just stones marking graves. Yeah. All right. I'll get a few pictures with Mother Eberly here. Oh, I have a picture of my mom to show you. I brought my mom here. I'm gonna try and find that picture. She's standing right there. It's 20 years ago when she was much younger, but let me share that with you. And here's that picture of my mom told you about. Standing by the same tombstone. There's Mother Eberly. Let's see there's a date on there. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is back in 2000. So a little over 20 years ago. Took her there. Standing right by her ancestor there. Right, that's cool. It's a pretty cool sight. I mean, these are my people here, I guess you could say. I know there's some older houses up here where some of these people lived, including some of my ancestors, but they're private homes. It would be cool to check some of the spots out. Speaking of being checked out, like all the ladies over there are checking me out, the cows. All right. But yeah, cool spot. Like I said, I was here almost 20 years ago. Here amongst my people, in a way. All right, but I think that'll be it for this video. I'll be doing some more research on the Eberly family. Might share more locations where some of these people lived and things like that. But this is just kind of a introductory into the Eberly family, trying to find where they're buried. We didn't find everybody, so I got to work on that too. See if I made some mistakes. Like some of this research I did like 20 years ago. I did a little bit just recently, but maybe we'll see. All right, but as always, folks, thanks. Oh yeah, before I say that, if you are a member of the Eberly family, and you can correct me on some things, help me find some people I didn't find, that'd be greatly appreciated. Anyway, thanks for coming along, and we'll see you on the next one, hopefully.